You finally sit down to write. Your notebook is open, your pen is ready, and your idea is waiting. But before you can begin, a voice shows up in your mind. This won't be good. You're not a real writer. Why even try? That voice is called self doubt. It usually shows up when you're doing something important, like writing a book. It may seem like it's trying to protect you, but it's really fear pretending to be truth. To move forward, you need to understand what self doubt really is and why it shows up. Self doubt is the feeling that you're not good enough, not ready, or not capable, even if there's no real reason to believe that. It makes you question yourself. You might think things like, I don't know enough, or no one will care what I have to say. These thoughts sound like your own voice, which is why they can be so convincing. Maybe you have a great book idea, but you haven't written it because you think only real writers have degrees or large followings. But that's not true. Self doubt doesn't come from facts, it comes from fear. It's your brain's way of trying to protect you from failing or getting judged. But that protection can end up holding you back from doing something meaningful. For many of us, self doubt starts early. Maybe someone told you that your ideas weren't good enough, or you learned to stay quiet to avoid being criticized. Many people were raised to keep their dreams small or not take up too much space. Over time, your brain begins to believe that staying quiet is safer than living your dreams out loud. This pattern from when you were young can resurface when you start doing something bold. Your brain senses risk and tries to keep you in your comfort zone. That zone may feel safe, but it stops you from growing. And even if you know deep down that you should take that risk, those early messages throughout your life can still echo in your mind. Self doubt also grows when we compare ourselves to others, especially in a world that highlights everyone else's success. If you've never seen someone like you become a writer, it's easy to think you can't do it. Or maybe someone once told you writing wasn't a real job. These outside messages often become the voice of doubt inside our heads. When you look closer, you'll see that self doubt is really just fear. It hides behind thoughts like, this isn't good enough, or why bother? But beneath those thoughts is often a fear of being judged, misunderstood, or hurt. It's okay to feel afraid, but that fear doesn't have to lead the way. What makes self doubt tricky is how real it feels. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It says things like, now's not the right time, or you're not ready yet. Your brain is wired to avoid emotional discomfort, but that's where growth happens. Ironically, self doubt doesn't show up when something doesn't matter to you. It shows up when you're doing something meaningful. So if you feel it, that's often a sign you're on the right path and that you care about what you're doing. For writers, self doubt can take on very specific forms. You might hear, I'm not a good writer, or my story doesn't matter, or I don't even know where to start. These are common thoughts, but they're not signs you're doing it wrong. They're signs you're doing something brave. Self doubt doesn't mean you're weak or not cut out for this. It means you're growing. You're trying something creative and new. And the more important it is to you, the more likely fear will show up. But now you know it's just fear, not truth. The goal isn't to get rid of self doubt forever because that's not realistic. The goal is to notice it and choose to keep writing anyway. You can say, this is just self doubt, and still write the next page. You can feel nervous and still share your work. Real confidence doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It means you keep going even when you do. Every time you move forward, in spite of fear, you get stronger. You start to trust your own voice a little more. And that is when your growth as a writer and as a person happens. Now that you understand what self doubt is, where it comes from, and why it shows up, you start to separate fear from truth, and that awareness is powerful. Now, in the next lesson, we'll talk about different ways to not only stop self doubt, but prevent it from resurfacing. You'll learn simple tools to quiet the doubt in your head and build belief in yourself as a writer.